This week on Sport Fishing, we're traveling south, way south, to the old town of Loretto, Mexico. Loretto is located about halfway down the Baja Peninsula and sits sandwiched between the local foothills and the Sea of Cortez. Now for this trip, we'll be flying down on Aero, California. Loretto has long been famous for the large schools of Dorado and Yellowtail that patrol the local waters. For those of you that enjoy fishing out of a panga, Loretto is a perfect destination for you.
Hi, I'm Dan Hernandez. I'd like to welcome you to this week's episode of Sport Fishing. Well, today we have something a little bit different for you. We're down in Loretto and we're small boat fishing for Dorado. And our special guest today with us is Randy and Dan.
Right straight ahead.
Oh, we got fish right on the surface. At South Bay Marine, we got Dorado right up here. They're chasing bait. Look at them, they're chasing bait right here. Look at them, they're chasing right there. Look at that Dorado. Right.
This week's Baja adventure started out in the early morning hours at the International Airport in Los Angeles. Here we boarded an Aero California flight for Loretto, and thanks to the professional and courteous crew, we had a very enjoyable flight down to Loretto. Over the years, we've brought you many exciting shows from Mexico. And one thing that we always take for granted on our travels to Baja is having a comfortable flight on Aero California. Everybody from the ticket counter to the stewardesses to the pilots ensure that you'll have a comfortable flight and that you'll get there safely. As you can see, the weather was perfect for our trip to Loretto. On this trip, we'll be staying at the Oasis Resort, located right on the water in Loretto. Well, now that we're safely on the ground, it's just a short drive from the airport to the Oasis Hotel in Loretto. Loretto was the first permanent European settlement in the Californias. It was founded on October 25th, 1697. The mission in Loretto was the first of several that were established in the Californias by priests from Spain. Back then, Baja was known as the New Spain. Because of the long, hot days down here in Baja, most of the pangas head out well before daylight. By sunrise, most of the boats are already out headed toward the fishing grounds. As the sun rises down here, so do the hopes of local fishermen as they try to get that fish of a lifetime.
There's your Dorado, but they weren't jumping a lot lately. Lost them? Oh, Dan's getting bit. Dan was getting bit. Dan's bit. There he is, he's jumping, he's on. He's got it. No, just keep pressure on him. I think he's there. Game's on, I think. Please spit it. Fish 2, anglers none. We had just got a strike. I put these guys on 2 nice fish, and we just lost them. Let's introduce them real quick. This is Randy.
How you doing?
And this is Dan. They both own South Bay Marine in Chula Vista, and they've been advertising with us for about 2 years now, over 2 years. And they invited us to come down and join them down in Loretto. And we're right now right off the island. And this one, I believe, is Carmen Island. Carmen. And what we're doing, same as all the little pongas and stuff, slow trolling right off a reef off the island where we've seen lots of bird activity. They've been catching Dorado here, some sailfish, not a lot, but a lot of Dorado. So we're going to be showing you some more Dorado action. We get the boat started, see if we can find us some more fish.
The Tackle Box. Tips and information to help every angler improve their chances on the water. This week, the Tackle Box is brought to you by the San Diego Sport Fishing Council.
And for live bait fishing, it really depends on the size of the fish, and I would say more importantly, even the type of bait you're going to be using. And that's how you want to match up your hooks. Don't worry about picking a hook that's too big or too small for the fish that you're going after. Match the hook with the size of the bait. So if you're going to be fishing with anchovies or small sardines, something like this would be fine. This is a size 2 live bait mustad hook. Now, depending on the size of the bait fish, you keep moving up the size of the hook. Now, the next size up that I would use would be if I was fishing with cut squid or even like a live sardine, something a little bit bigger. That would be like a 3/0 live bait hook. And if I was going to be fishing with whole squid, big live squid, or big mackerel, then I would move all the way up to like a 5/0 hook. That's what this is here. So to show you the knots, I'm going to use a 5/0. And with the 5/0 hook, you'd probably be fishing nothing lighter than 40 or 50 pound test line. And the simplest knot to show you, and the best knot that I like to use, is Palomar knot. Which you just tie the loop over, slide the hook through the loop, and then cinch it down. Now whenever you pull down on a hook, make sure that you moisten the line, you take the tension out of it, and you never do it with your fingers. Always use a pair of dikes or the rail or something and slide it down. You want it nice and tight. And then come back and cut off this tag end. And when we talk about fly line fishing, this is it. There's no sinkers, no nothing. When it comes to looking for Dorado or catching Dorado, there's lots of different methods. Now you can either troll the large lures, different size lures, like the Zookers, when you're on the large party boats and stuff. Right now we're down in Baja, we're off the coast of Loretto, and what we're doing is a method that the skippers like to use around here, the Ponga guys, is slow trolling. We're using the birds that we see around us, frigate birds, to locate the fish for us. And once we know that there's an area where there's a lot of fish, we even see fish jumping and stuff. We see the birds diving down to steal the bait fish, the sardinas that the fish are trying to eat, and the small mackerel. Then what we do is we slow the boat way down, and what we call slow troll. We get a bait in the water, throw a couple baits in the water, just move the boat a little bit over idle, and just drag a bait, a live bait. So what I got here right now is a basic gear I would use in the States for large calicos or small yellowtail. I have a 500 size reel, have 30 pound test super silver thread, and I have a 5/0 live bait hook. And all we're going to do is just pin on a bait. Now on the boat that we have today, we got large live bait tank. We got plenty of live bait. I'm just going to grab a bait here. That's a little big. All these baits are pretty large. I'm just going to go ahead and grab them here. And because we're going to be moving the whole time, normally when we pin on a mackerel, we would go right through the nostril holes. But we don't want to do that today because we're going to be moving the boat the whole time. So we'll go right through the lower and upper jaw, straight up like that. And we'll just position this right off the side of the boat, behind the boat. Drop it straight back. And we'll just drag it with us right behind the boat. Now as the fish come up, we get bit, we're just gonna give it a little bit of line so they can swallow it, grab it good, and let the chance for the hook to get in it. And then we're just gonna throw the reel in gear and slam it in gear. It's a real simple deal. Usually when you're Dorado fishing, when you get one fish, you get the whole school. Right now it's really early in the season, so we don't expect to see any large schools of fish. There's a lot of big bull males around, so what we're gonna do is try and pick off one at a time. And if we get lucky, we might even find a sailfish. You never know. If we were down here in Loretto in August or July, on these stops like this, slow trolling, we could pick up anything from yellowtail to marlin, sailfish. You just really don't know. Tuna, a lot of tuna down here. But today we're fishing for Dorado. That's what we're trying to get us right now. So I'll get back here with the guys, see if we can hook one. Sun's up, the bait's up. Something should want to bite.
The water's starting to lay down pretty nice out here today.
Yeah, the weather's been looking nicer. Wind's going down. Do that slow troll. That seems to be one of the most productive methods
here. Yeah.
And it's something the guys really don't try that much up in the States. There he goes. Another female. We got a school of females here. These fish are a little bit smaller than the first ones we found. So what I did was I stripped out a piece of mackerel and just filleted it into a little, like a quarter piece of the mackerel, and cast it out. And as soon as it hit the water, I had a Dorado on. There he is, right there on the surface. Little female. We got two going. Come on, get over here. Oh, I got a male.
You got a bull?
Yeah, a small bull. That's just my bait there, that little piece.
This is a male too, man.
Yeah, I got a little bull here. Let's save a couple of these. Have something to eat tonight. Yeah, I want to keep a couple. We'll grab a little gaff. Okay, let's keep a couple of these so we have something to eat. Come all the way down. Drive all the way down to Mexico. We should save a couple of these. Here we go.
Let's see him jump. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Come on up.
This one. Cool. All right.
Alrighty.
One in, a couple more to go. Woo!
I tell you, it sure is worth the trip to come down here when the fish aren't biting at home. Fishing's so good down here.
And after all those storms we've had, this is nice weather to get out on.
Yeah, the sun's finally coming out.
I don't see any signs of anything. Oh, you got a nice bull there.
Yeah, he's a good size one there. I think he'll make a good dinner. What do you think, Dan?
Yeah. I think it's time for fish tacos.
Have you ever had blackened Dorado?
No.
Oh, that's delicious. If you like blackened fish, blackened Mommy is one of the best fish.
Let me give you a hand with that one.
There it goes again. There it goes again. Yes! Yeah! Don't you love it?
Deep color.
I'd be a lot happier if I could see him come out of the water a few times. But I think these guys are just gorging themselves on bait here.
He's acting more like a tuna. I mean, if we hadn't seen him, I think he's a tuna.
He's a nice
He's
fish.
staying straight up and down.
Yeah, I think he's seen the boat and kind of knows where his destination is going.
Game tuna.
He doesn't want any part of that.
You think in Dorado school they tell them about humans? Do they warn them? Or maybe the word's out that the film crew's here, so all the fish are nervous.
They know Dan's here.
Camera shy.
This guy's definitely camera shy.
You can just see the technique that Randy's doing here. It's just lifting up and winding down. Doesn't matter what kind of fish you're after, if it's tuna, marlin, Dorado. It's always the same technique. The better and smoother you can do it, the more successful you're going to be fishing. Both Randy and Dan have lots of years on the water fishing and testing out the boats that they sell. You can see it right here. I want to give it slightly a little bit more drag here. No, not this.
Part of catering you Baja customers.
But just test the equipment.
On the water.
Yeah. That's important, you know. A guy's gonna go buy a boat. He wants, for a fishing Baja, he wants to go get it from somebody that's got the experience, been on the water.
Right.
And you guys tow boats down here on a regular basis, so you can give the customer a better idea, or even our viewers can call you and get an idea about road conditions and what they need to watch out for towing a boat down.
We have a lot of customers come up from Baja, seeing as we're the closest ones to the border. We have so many customers coming in from Baja.
Some of the different Mexico operations.
A lot of new customers who want to go to Baja. But usually we have a pretty good skinny on the road conditions and what's happening
And the
as
bites
far
and
as
stuff.
fishing and stuff. Walk that way. Nice one, bro. Thank you. Okay, I got it. That's one hand. Nice one. Now this is bull Dorado. You can tell by the stuffed head. He's about 30 pounds, 35 pounds. I think we'll keep him, put him in the fridge.
Hasn't jumped yet. It's gotta be that Dorado we saw. What'd you have on there, mackerel?
Yeah. Light bait, slow troll.
Slow troll, live bait.
Slow troll.
Something scaring it, probably.
I almost jumped in the boat, but on the boat, watch it.
What's your line? What's your line?
Got him?
Yeah, I got it. All right. Okay, huh? Pretty deep, so we're just gonna go ahead and cut it.
For this trip to Loretto, we stayed at the Oasis Hotel. Everything about the Oasis is outstanding, from the magnificent home-style atmosphere to the tropical gardens surrounding the pool and pro tennis court. All of the rooms are air-conditioned, and most of the rooms have beachfront views. Both the bar and the dining room overlook the majestic islands of the Sea of Cortez. Once you stayed at the Oasis and fished out of Loretto, you're bound to return time and time again. The boat ramp is located about a mile north of the resort. Now, most anglers will leave their boat here in the marina, but if you wish, you can take the boat out and leave it overnight at the resort.
Not gaining much on him. You know, when I live, I can't really.
No, he's been there for an hour, same position.
It's a nice fish, though.
Wine. Lift, wine. lift, wind, lift. I know, but that's the technique. Lift, wind. Lift, wind. Lift, wind. Lift, turn the handle thing. That's all you gotta do. There you go, there you go. One more time. There you go, he's good.
This is another one of the large Dorados that would elude us today in our day of fishing out of Loretto.
But you know what? That's fishing, man.
Yeah, I just felt bad about that big one over there.
Yeah, but that's fishing, bro, and we all know it, right? Well, hey, Dan, thanks a lot. It's been a lot of fun fishing with you.
Thanks. Thanks for inviting us down. We had a great time.
Thanks for coming with us. We had a great time with you, and hopefully we can do it again sometime soon.
Those Dorado were just exciting.
They were great.
It was a lot of fun.
I wish we had got more.
Well, I'm Dan Hernandez, hoping you enjoyed this week's episode of Sport Fishing, and I hope you join us again next week when we go showing you more of the best in sport fishing. Are you ready to take the boat in the trailer and stuff?
Good, yeah.
Is that something?